Mr. Candor here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to show you my cold steel collection. I think it's best to do this in two parts. Not that I have all that many cold steel knives and etc. But I just think for to actually present them to you properly, I'd have to do, I guess, a close-in screen and then a kind of a farther out screen for some of the larger objects. So anyway, that's why I'm going to do this in two parts mostly. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it. So I'm going to go ahead and go ahead and tell you right now that one of the knives that I actually have in the collection, but I don't have on me right now, is the Micro Recon 1 Tonto, and I got a picture of that I'm going to put right here. So I just wanted to go ahead and do that disclaimer there. It's actually on my wife's keychain. She loves that thing. I've had it for a really long time. It's really small. It goes in the keychain well. It's AUS-8A steel. So it's not the best. I have to sharpen it pretty often, but she actually uses it a lot, so that's a good thing. So honestly, and I don't mind sharpening it. You can see I've got strops on the wall there. Got temporary strops here. The little I actually make these myself, but yeah. So I like sharpening. Sharpening's fun to me. I've got sharpening ceramics here. It's all good. All right. Don't mean to digress. I was just making a point there. So anyway, second up on the list here is going to be my little mini Lawman here. I've had this mini Lawman for a pretty good while. I have to say that that cold steel's coating on the blades are really good. The coatings on the clip, not so much. So for pretty much all of these cold steel knives, I go ahead and take the coating off of the clip because it's going to come off anyway. It's the cheapest. I don't want to say I don't want to talk too badly about them. I love cold steel, but for some reason they really try to save money on that clip. I'm not going to get into the fact that that they're not even close to deep carry. I don't think I've ever seen a cold steel knife that has deep carry, and if there is one, I can't remember it, and it's probably fairly new. So yeah, there's a cold steel mini Lawman. Great little knife. I actually just tuck this one in the pocket. I rarely use the pocket clip anyway. So it's for me it's I could almost take that off and I would still get the same utility out of this little knife here. So yeah, I just tuck it into my pocket and go. I ride it with my keys and everything. No big deal. One thing I was going to point out here is, as you know, cold steel's got really rough G10. So yeah, I do put a little coating on that. As you can see, it's metallic, slightly shiny. It's not exactly matte, but it's not shiny either. But yeah, it holds up pretty well, and it keeps your jeans, or my jeans, from getting shredded. These G10 on cold steel is notorious for shredding people's jeans, so that's just a fact. So anyway, you'll actually see that on another one of these knives. I had a couple more that I had done it to that I actually sold, so that's why I don't have those right now. So I'm not going to even really waste time on those. I'm actually do a video one of these days to actually show you how I put that coating on there. It's really not that complicated. There are other people's versions that you can find online, but I've got mine. I've had this coating on here for probably 4 years, and like I said, this thing rides in my pocket with keys. So yeah, it's effective. Number 2 up on the list, pretty much everyone who likes cold steel has the American Lawman. Now this Lawman here, like all of my cold steel folders, is a CTS XHP, which to me is a great steel. I really do love the steel. Again, the blade coating on this knife is great. Believe it or not, I actually do use this knife. You know, I always clean my knives. I polish them if it's, you know, if they really get scratched. So I know a lot of times, a lot of people say use your knives and all that, and I do. You know, I just take care of them. So sometimes knives that are actually harder use look pretty good, and to me that's a good thing. That just means I take care of my knives, and I think other people should too. But yeah, as you can see, that pocket clip has been cleaned and polished as well. Again, man, minimal wear, and that coating on the clip is trashed, and your knife looks like it's, you know, it's years older than it actually is. You know, that's just a pet peeve of mine. If you're gonna do a pocket clip, man, you make that coating stay on there, or don't put it on there. You know, that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, again, a deep carry option would be cool. But other than that, great little knife. The alignment's held up, you know, with just a knife with washer. Sometimes that's harder to do. But yeah, great little knife, CTS XHP. Same thing with that mini Lawman down there. Same deal. All right. So next up, got my big boy here. That is the Recon 1, full sized. As you can see, I've got the same coating on the back side of the blade here, clip side. Yeah, natural. You know, it's got the regular G10, but it is really rough. This one's probably the worst out of all my knives, and it was one of the first ones that I put that coating on there. As you can see, again, that coating has held up really well. I haven't reapplied it at all. I totally could. All I have to do is just take off the scale, spray it, and we're done. You know, I plug all the holes for the for the screws and the hardware and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's pretty effective, and it keeps my jeans from getting shredded up. And that's the only reason why I do it. I really don't do it for it to look cool, even though it kind of does. So anyway, that's that. It's Cold Steel Recon 1. The CTS XHP in this one also. All right. So these two I'm going to go ahead and show you at the same time, because they're not technically knives or anything like that, but they are in the Cold Steel lineup. And so what they are here are the Cold Steel, kind of the plastic versions. You know, this is the Ski Do. It's I guess a recreation of a knife, of an old knife, very famous one. This right here is the Delta Dart. Get that out of there. Sheesh. Yeah, this thing right here, you know, purely a stabbing, I'm gonna say tool. I really don't know what else you would really use it for other than kind of self-defense and things like that. I just thought it was cool, so I went and got it. I really haven't used it too much. I think maybe if I'm jogging or something like that, I may bring it. It's not really something I'm gonna try to sneak through an airport. If I'm gonna do that, I'm just gonna take my knife and check a bag, and I can bring any knife I want, rather than trying to do something like that. That's yeah, they'll flag you pretty quick if they actually do see it. I've never had a problem checking a knife in a bag and flying wherever I wanted to go, regardless of the knife laws in that state. One interesting thing about the Delta Dart is the sheath that it has right here doesn't come with it, and believe it or not, the sheath costs more than the Delta Dart. So I mean, that's you can look at it a couple of ways. Either Cold Steel is really efficient with their production, that, you know, to the point where the product is actually cheaper than the accessories. So that's one way to look at it. You can come up with your own conclusions for alternative ways to look at that. So anyway, that's the Delta Dart, and that's the Ski Do. Next up, I've got this awesome little knife right here. It's the Master Hunter Plus, I believe. I believe it's the Plus, even though it doesn't say it on the blade here. You see that. Now this one is in the VG1 San Mai. Pretty cool steel. I haven't had any problems with it. As you can see, I've got it oiled up because I've got this one in pretty much long-term storage. It's in my wife's camping, bug out bag, whatever you want to call it. I originally bought it for myself. She immediately claimed it because she really liked the handle, even though it's big enough for for me. It really, she really liked the blade to handle ratio and the grippiness and all that good stuff. So she immediately claimed it, and I couldn't fight it. I've got so many other knives, or I really couldn't deny her. So yeah, that is the Master Hunter VG1 San Mai Plus. Great little cold steel knife. Speaking of camping bug out bags, this is mine. This one stays in my bug out bag, and this is of course the SRK. Cold Steel's probably one of their more famous knives, and this one's in 3V. It's one of my I really don't have too many 3V knives. I'm working my way to it. Some of my other, I guess, camping, bushcraft type of knives, they're in other materials. So I really can't tell you too much about this steel. I have used it, this knife, just messing around. As you can see the marks. I guess the wear on there really doesn't tell you how much I've actually used the knife, though, because again, this coating holds up really well for cold steel, and I do appreciate that. This one, I've split some kindling with this. It's kind of hard to baton with it because that little swedge up top, it really tears up any baton that you have. But if it's something that I really have to worry about batoning with, I'm going to use my little hatchet or an axe or anything anyway. I know some people would probably sharpen that little swedge right there. It's a pretty steep angle, but honestly, I think it could be done. Personally, I'm not going to do it, but I'd like to see someone try. I think it'd be kind of cool. Anyway, that's that. All right, I'm getting a little... as you can see, we're progressing in size here. It really wasn't intentional. I kind of laid things down. I guess the inner accountant management in my mind kind of did that subconsciously. So I really wasn't even paying attention that I was putting it down biggest and smallest. But yeah, anyway, we've got the Cold Steel OSS. This one is in AUS 8A. And it is, I'd have to say this was my first cold steel knife. Yeah. Of course, it's double-sided, hollow ground, but it is double-sided. And so at the time that I bought this knife, of course it was illegal to really, I wouldn't say own. You could probably have it in your house legally, but I couldn't take it anywhere, Not only is it longer than 8 inches, which I believe was the law at the time, it's also double-sided, and so yeah, it was a no-go. So this was purely for display on my wall. So you can see that up there I've got I've got a Bowie knife and a kukri, bone handle, and I forget what type of wood. But used to have this and another knife kind of up there on display, but I just kind of switched it out because I just kind of do things like that. So anyway, yeah, Cold Steel OSS, pretty cool knife. Thanks to House Bill 1935, I don't have to worry about the length of blades or what type of knives or anything like that. I can carry a sword down the street if I was stupid enough to do that. I technically could. Yeah, autos, all that good stuff. I really appreciate the knife law change here in the state of Texas. Considering the fact that I went to a high school named after Jim Bowie, I always thought it was weird that I couldn't actually legally have a Bowie knife here in the state of Texas. So speaking of Bowie knives, I've got the Cold Steel Marauder here, and as you can see, I've got the was it the I forget what the name of the clip is all of a sudden, but this one here is a of course it's a sub hilt. The other one was a sub hilt as well, the OSS that I showed you previously, but I really didn't I didn't really trust the that sub hilt area there. I really wish they would kind of reinforce it with either a harder material or some sort of you know, maybe even a metal. I mean, it couldn't be that expensive. I understand that this is injection molded and they're saving costs and things like that, but it was so flexible, I didn't really see the benefit of it. This one's a little bit stiffer, so I went ahead and let it stay on there. It does provide some really good grip that, you know, to me honestly is kind of unneeded, because the cold steel grip material, whether it's grip, you know, Krayag, whatever, I can't even tell you all the different names, but cold steel really does it, in my opinion, probably the best when it comes to just grippy handles and things like that. You really can't go wrong with cold steel, and they nail it. So anyway, the sub hilt is just kind of you know, icing on the cake, I suppose. But yeah, it's a cool little Bowie. It's really light. It's really not made for anything other than, I guess, fighting or just looking cool on my wall. So yeah, I haven't gotten too much use out of that. I'd love to really hack something with it, some wood or something like that. The hollow grind is probably not conducive to really hacking wood really good or anything, you know, if I was to use it for that. But yeah, it's just a cool knife to have, and you know, happy to have it in the collection. I'll probably hold on to it for quite a while. Doubt I'll sell any of these. I think at this point that's going to be a good stopping point for part one. So hey, I appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see y'all next time.